welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. We're stoked. This weekend we're starting off on Thursday with an 8-race card, but this is Belmont Stakes week, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later, about the chance maybe getting a Triple Crown winner this year. But we have a lot of fun going on today with our 8-race card. We got a carryover in the Rainbow Six with this 8-race card. It starts in race number 3, $62,000 plus in that pool. Oh, but we're not done. We also have a carryover today in the Super High 5 of just about $3,800. That is the last race of the day, and that thing has been paying fantastically, Katie. And you know what else? On Saturday, Belmont Day, we got a special 12:30 post, so you got to get nice and early so you can bet the races here, and of course later on watch to see if American Pharaoh can nail the Triple Crown.
We're going to be getting started early and going at it all day. We even have 3 stakes races on Saturday's card, so it is going to be a very exciting day.
Yeah, and it should be a lot of fun, and boy, it sure looks like American Pharaoh has a big shot, but today's only Thursday. We've got a couple of days to handicap that race, but we have today the handicap at this card. So our first race on Thursday, 1 mile on the turf, claimants fillies and mares 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life or 3-year-olds. The claiming level is $16,000. And we want to go back and show you a performance of Pitsy's Prize, who was the number 7. That was back on May 15th. Had a little bit of trouble at the quarter pole, I believe, in that race.
She did. She's going to lack a lot of room at the quarter pole, and really, if she's the 7 here, you're going to see the jockey have to take up here. Has to steady, has no room. A lot of horses get the jump on her, even stumbles a little bit there, loses her footing. And I was impressed how she came back on when a lot of horses really had a bit of a head start. She was able to rally, and she's going to get up for second. Only beaten 3/4 of a length. Doesn't really look like that's going to happen here. And I really just like the way that she closed. That was why I ended up putting her on the top of my ticket. I know you have her on the ticket as well, but in second, you went another way with Famous Sting.
Yeah, I went with Famous Sting in here, and I like the barn change this afternoon, but Pitsy's Prize, for all the reasons you mentioned, when you see it again, you can see just how much trouble she was in. But I did go with the number 10, Famous Sting. This one moved to the Marcial Navarro barn, via the claim. Adds the blinkers back again after fighting through the whole stretch and holding on to defeat $16,000 maidens, going 7.5 furlongs. Navarro barn has been very, very hot. He's 25% with new claims. Eddie Castro in the saddle, so I just thought that was a logical way to go, albeit stepping up from maidens against winners there. Had to have Pitsy's Prize on the ticket. Who else did you use? And you used the number 6 horse in the opener, Starship OEM.
Well, this is, I think the ticket might be a little bit messed up there. I have in here Princess Romana, and that one is the 3, so the numbers may be a little bit mixed up there. I threw in Princess Romana. I have Pitsy's Prize and Famous Sting on my ticket, as you do. Just the exact flipped. So I have Princess Romana. This one I just think is well spotted. Second, beaten just 1.25 at the $12,500 level back on May 16th. Just thought this one was one that figured, but I think the top 2 are the best 2 in this race.
Yeah, and the Princess Romana, what I liked about it, I love horses that split horses. She split horses to get up to second. It just shows me something, especially when you're dealing with 2 lifetime or 3 lifetime competition. So all the reasons there. We're basically in agreement with our exacta flip flop. I went with Famous Thing on top, but Pitsy's Prize, you saw the reason that both of us have it on the ticket. She really had nowhere to run it. She closed very nicely. With that said, we'll go to race number 2 today, and this one is a 6 furlong claimer, 3-year-olds and up with non-winners of 2 races in life, or 3-year-olds. The claiming level is $30,000 down to $25,000, and boy, there's a horse in there that's been keeping company and beating company, and we want to go back and show you a performance of Fastidious Son back on May 8th, and this is a pretty nice horse and in for a really easy spot, I believe.
I think so. I think he finds a great spot here today. I was surprised to see him in this race because of the company he's kept. This is back on May 8th, and this is going a mile. He duels on the front end. He gets until about the 16th pole, and then he's going to weaken to third. You're going to see him there. He's the one. He's well beaten in this race, but I love the turn back to 6 furlongs today, and I think he's the lone speed that's just going to be able to control this race throughout. 2 starts back, he beat a horse named Rizwan. It was on the dirt, albeit Rizwan may be a bit better on the grass, but still a very nice horse there, won a stake race in the English Channel. And then he ran in the Tarpon Handicap behind Mr. Jordan, Royal Squeeze, and My Point Exactly, all stakes winners.
Makes you wonder why he's in here at this level. I have it on top for the. I actually made him my best bet of the afternoon because of he's been flattered with the company he's been keeping. The other horse I put on my ticket is the 5, and that is Okie Meister. And this one is making his first start since he dueled for the lead, and he retreated to finish a distant 4th. That was behind Fastidious Son and Rizwan. That was in that $35,000 optional claimer back on March 20th. The turn back to a sprint distance today looks like a positive move with this for this son of With Distinction, and I think this one's going to be part of the pace scenario with the 3, Fastidious Son. I like to turn back on that horse.
What about the 2, the Judge Chuckles? This one's going to make the turf to dirt move for trainer David Brady, and also cutting back again to a sprint. 2 starts back, he finished 3rd. I liked this race, was going 6.5 furlongs, and finished behind a horse named We're All Set, who was making his first start off the claim for trainer Peter Walder, was much the best that day. And also the horse that was 2nd was Rasta Rant, who was a next out winner. So I thought this was a one, again, looking at the company line. We also both used the 4 Abaseb brothers.
Yeah, it seems like we've been picking this horse all winter long, you and I, and this one is he's turning back slightly. He vied for the lead last time out. He faded to finish last. It was against this level of competition, going 6.5 furlongs. So you said, well, why are you picking this horse? Because the barn is on fire. It's Gustavo Delgado. He's got Harry Hernandez, and I think this horse, if he could go back to some of those races when we did pick him run well, he could be an upsetter in here.
Absolutely, and I think in a race like this where you have the lone speed of Fastidious Son, he can play a bigger role because last time he dueled with a bunch of horses on the front end and tired.
Well, you also, in that race, scratch the number 1 horse, Royal Knowledge, but a little later on when we're done, our tracking out. So Pete Aiello will come back and he'll update you on everything you need to know about having a fun day at Gulfstream Park. With that said, race number 3, the Rainbow 6, starts here, 6 furlongs, maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $35,000. Now get your pencils ready. Not a lot of scratches, but it's got some equipment notes in here. The number 4 horse in here will race without Lasix today. There is a workout on the number 5 Notorious Cowboy on June 1st at Classic Mile Park in Ocala. He worked 3 furlongs in 52.8, or 4 furlongs, excuse me, in 52.8. And number 6 will race with blinkers on today. So lots of little changes in there, but no scratches. We'll have 6 runners going to the post. I went with the number 4 Purple Panda. I'll tell you why. He's the son of Taylor the Cat, debuted for trainer Juan Rodriguez with a series of sharp Gulfstream Park West workouts showing at trainer Rodriguez teams up with Eddie Castro in here for this assignment. A little bit of a guess on my part. I love that workout pattern across town on Gulfstream Park West. A little deeper surface, legs the horses up nicely for a performance here. So I went with a first-time starter in there, number 4 Purple Panda, who I mentioned will not race with Lasix.
And I love the name, so I'd love to see that horse do well. I'd love to know the background on it a little bit. I ended up going with a horse with experience, and that's the 6 Vision of Dreams, and I do like the addition of blinkers on this horse as well. This is a 3-year-old son of Belong to Me, going to make his first start since October and take a significant class drop from Maiden Special Weight Company for trainer Ron Pellegrini, who is 17% with horses coming off layoffs of this length and 33% dropping horses from maiden special weight to maiden claimers, so he does well with these types. The last 3 works have all been bullets over at Gulfstream Park West, so I'm expecting him to be sharp for the start.
Well, we both have our 2nd and 3rd horses flip-flop. I'll talk about the 2. Katie will talk about the 5. Little Croupy, a $90,000 New York-bred son of Freud, debuted for Carlo Vaccarezza. He's pretty good with his first-time starters, about 21%. Gelding gets Lasix, Jockey Tyler Gaffleone for this 6 furlong sprint. Guess on my part, but I like the barn, what they do with first-time starters, so put him on the ticket. And you went with the number 5 Notorious Cowboy, who I think has a shot in here too.
Another first-time starter, this one from the James Kirk barn. He's a son of Kodiak Cowboy, lures Edgar Prado for the debut. It's a small sample size, but Kirk has 2 for 3 with first-time starters with more than a $10 return on investment. He's also won with both of his horses so far this meet that have debuted in maiden claimers.
Yeah, and I like the fact that there is now hour work. I had actually written that there was limited workout data, but Edgar Prado was riding, so I thought that was nice. Notorious Cowboy, as you mentioned, trained by James C. Kirk. So if you are a Star Wars geek, you got to have this horse on your ticket. I love the fact. I love every time I see his name, James C. Kirk. It reminds me of Star Wars. Let's go to race number 4. And also should remind you that third race kicks off the Rainbow Six. Race number 4 will kick off the pick 5 of the afternoon on the turf. 5 furlongs, maiden, 2-year-olds. We got 9 runners going to the post. And unless you have not been following Gulfstream Park Racing, you know how good Stanley Gold's been doing with his 2-year-olds. Let me tell you about the number 2 in here, who we both have on top of our ticket, Swamp Chili. He's the son of Hear No Evil. He's a full brother to multiple stakes winner, Best Plan Yet. But he's also a half the stakes winners, Midas Eyes, Awesome Bell, and the horse that really piqued my interest was Alzir. This one was Group 1 stakes placed on the turf in England as a 2-year-old. So there is reason to believe this horse is absolutely going to love the turf. Stanley Gold, he's really been on fire with his freshman runners, and this one on the turf has the breeding to be any kind.
Trainer Stanley Gold has been saying that this horse screams turf. He has the pedigree. He looks like he's going to run well over the surface. Gold thinks highly of him. He has been absolutely on fire. It's one thing, you know, to mention, unless you haven't been following Gulfstream Park, I think it's unless you've been hiding under a rock. He has won with almost every 2-year-old. He's only lost with one 2-year-old so far this season. It is amazing. I think this one looks very good, but Wesley Ward also has a horse in here. That is a 2-year-old, and that is on the grass, and he does very well with those types.
I think you said the other day the only race that he lost as a 2-year-old, he was beaten by Wesley Ward. I think that's what you said.
That's true.
We're talking about the 4 Iron and Fire, debuting on the turf for trainer Wesley Ward. He ran a really promising second in his 4.5 furlong debut at Churchill Downs on the main track. Normally, if Stanley Ward wasn't going as good and this horse wasn't bred, this horse might still be the big favorite in this race off that debut performance at Churchill Downs.
Has the experience edge, and also being at Palm Meadows has been able to train over the turf course up there, and he breezed on the grass up there in Boynton Beach on May 25th, went 4 furlongs in an impressive 47-1. Looks like he's going to be sharp and looks like he likes the surface.
Well, there's a horse in here really bred nicely for the turf, and we both have it in third, and that is Francisco Blue.
And this one had a lot of trouble last time out in his career debut, broke from the gate and was bumped around, ended up being a well-beaten 4th behind the Wesley Ward trained Moment Is Right, who was a runaway winner that day. This is going to be his turf debut, and he's a son of Leroy de Saint-Amo. He is bred for it for sure. That one, a top-class miler on the grass.
Yeah, and Larry Pilati, the trainer here, Jonathan Gonzalez, who's riding in good form. So really fun 4th race this afternoon. We can see if Swamp Chili can beat Iron in the Fire, and maybe one of the other ones will jump up and get the job done. We'll go to race number 5. We'll go back to a fast main track, 7 furlongs, claimers, 3 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life or race since December 4th, which makes it 6 months. We do have the scratch in here. I know it was my top pick, and here, no, it's actually my second choice in here, and that's the 5, Rock Alex. We want to go back and show you a performance. 2-horse today, Nevsky, but it was the number 1 that day. Didn't run badly, got up for 3rd in that race.
Yeah, I thought this was a nice run, and the key for me here was that this was his first start in almost 5 months. You're going to see the 1 Nevsky. He's going to close pretty well here. You see him making up the ground. He's going to get up for 3rd. Just ahead from 2nd. Again, doesn't really look like he's going to be going anywhere, but you see the 2 starting to drift out and fade, and Nevsky's going to just keep rolling on. And this, I thought, was just a very nice performance coming off such a long layoff. I like how he really seems to get into stride there at the end of the race. He's 3 for 4 in the money at this distance. He's a first-time gelding. I love that angle, and I think he should be better second start off the break. But we have our exacta flip-flop once again. I know you like the 4, I do also, but tell me why you put Cadillac Charm on top.
Well, Cadillac Charm is dropping to this $12,500 level, turning back to 7 furlongs, 2 previous races at the distance with 2 second-place finishes, dueled early last time out, set the pace mid-race, and then settled for a second. That was against $16,000 claimers, going a mile in the 16th. That was a race move from the turf to a good main track. I'm going with the turn back to 7/8. Like that performance last time out. Nevsky, for all the reasons you mentioned. We got our 2 flip-flop. You went with the number 9, No Lift Shift in 3rd. Say that very carefully.
No lift shift. Hopefully that sounded okay.
I'm not touching it.
I scratched into this one with the scratch of Rock Alex, the 5 here. This one, a little bit of a concern. in a big class drop and coming back from a long layoff. But this horse is a 6-year-old stakes veteran from the Jose Garofalo barn. He's in a much softer spot today than he was last time out when he ran behind Grade 1 winner Lochte in an allowance over at Gulfstream Park West. He has a proven track record on the dirt, but again, those two things are concerning.
Yeah, I used the number 3 small token, drop it to the $12,500 level. Faced considerably tougher before the extended layoff. Hasn't run since October, but look at that work. Talking about workouts over at Gulfstream Park West, 102 breezing out of the gate. That's a pretty nice move across town. Dropping down, a little bit of red flags all over the place, but I threw it on the ticket, and then again, I added it like you did. That was added after the scratch of number 5, Rock Alex, who was actually the 2-1 morning favorite. Did you have Rock Alex on top?
No, I had him in third.
Yeah, I had him in second. I did not have him on top, but he was the morning line favorite in there. Let's go to race number 6. Go back to the turf. 1 mile and 1/16. Maiden claim is 3 and up, 12-5, 9 runners in the field, and we both went with the number 7, Imperial Ben, who's hoping to make amends today.
Yeah, and he dropped to this level last time out and produced the first in-the-money finish of his 3-race career for trainer Milton Wolfson. Was third going this mile in a 16th distance. He was, well supported at the window in that race. Didn't come through, but I think he's just well spotted. Owns the highest last out buyer of the field, and Harry Hernandez will be in the irons.
Well, Katie's a very forgiving sort, so I don't know if she bet him last time out, but we're going to give those people who did one more chance today. Looks like the logical choice on paper. Excuse me. Number 3, Bosco Bob's Baby. That's easier to say than another one, what I'm not saying. Stretching out to 1 mile and 16. He shipped back down from Tampa and broke from post 11. He stalked the pace. He finished 4th. He was placed 3rd in that race, actually, via Stewart's decision. That was going a mile last time out. I think he fits with this level of competition here. Coming back, didn't run badly. There was a trouble in the race, and, the stretch out to 1 mile and 16th might be just what the number 3, Bosco Bob's Baby, needs.
And we talk about riders that have been hot, and we talk about Tyler Gaffleone and Harry Hernandez, and you hear those names a lot. But Luca Panici, he's been on fire lately, especially on the grass. That's worth noting with this horse.
Yeah, and he had a $43 winner the other day after we're walking around all day and say, how hot is he, Did we bet him? No. I went with the number 6 in third, and that's Majestic Z. Hoping to get away today from the gate trouble-free. You look at his last race, he got bumped, he got bothered at the start prior to finishing 6th against the same level of competition going a mile. Trainer Barry Croft, Edgar Prado in the saddle today. Thought this was a logical choice. But, we always talk about this, Katie, when you're putting your Rainbow 6 tickets together. I think you got to go deep in here.
Yeah, I think so, too. There are a lot of ways you could go. I threw in the 8 at the bottom of the ticket just from a class drop perspective, a Fleet Criminal dropping from the $20,000 level. But I see this as a wide-open affair, though I do think we have it right with the top 2 horses.
Yeah, I think they might probably the logical 2 in there. Let's go to race number 7. This one, 2-year-olds on the main track for this one, 4.5 furlongs. He's a maiden filly, 2-year-olds. Love the fact that there's 11 runners in the field. We don't know what's going to happen with these 2-year-olds, but I know it's going to be fun. And we got our exacta flip-flopped. I'll start with the 6 High End Queen. It's a daughter of High Cotton who boasts 4 local workouts in preparation for a career debut, which includes that 3-furlong bullet back on May 13th in 35-2. Herman Walensky, Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle. Just thought maybe this would be the way to go. I like the workout pattern, but also going to put the horse you have on top, number 4, Wish I Had Her, on my ticket.
Well, I'm hoping, having this one at the top of the ticket, I don't have to go back and say, wish I had it on the ticket. But this one's a daughter of BL's Appeal. Going to debut for trainer Michael Yates, who does well with his first-time starters. This one has 4 published works on record. I like that 4-furlong work in 47-4. The lone sibling is a 3-time winner, so I thought, take that proven and threw it in, but I think it's a toss-up between those 2.
Yeah, really really hard to separate the 2. The barn, talking about Michael Yates, he's 14% with his first-time starters. Horse that's got some experience, and we both have on our ticket, is Eskin Lady, number 7. She's expected to show more. She responded last time out to the addition of blinkers with an improved second-place finish. However, it's her 3rd start in a month. So she's the logical choice on paper because of the past experience, but could not put her on top of my ticket.
That's exactly how I felt, and that's why I could only put her in third as well. But last time out, she really ran a nice second to the talented Stanley Gold trainee. It's High Time. She loomed large at the top of the stretch before that rival just drew off. But I liked that performance, and I think she can run well if she can repeat that. But will she be tired is the question.
Yeah, after 3 starts in a month, but she's young, maybe she can do it. But everybody, it seems, that's run as a 2-year-old here has run behind a Stanley Gold impressive first-time starter in this race, except for the one. Let's go to our final race on Thursday's card. 7.5 furlongs on the grass. Turf's maiden claim is fillies and mares, 3 and up. $12,500. Scratched the 12, who was the morning line favorite, and my top pick in here, Lakeshore Gal. And also scratched the main track only, number 13, and that is The Way Bell Is. And I scratched into the number 3, Starship Salsa, but I'm going to let you start with the number 5, Dee's Causeway, because after the loss to the 12, I'm a little shaky in this part one.
I was, and I did scratch into Dee's Causeway as well with the scratch of Lakeshore Gal, but I'm going to give this one another chance. This is another horse that we seem to put on the ticket all the time, similarly to Abbasid Brothers that we talked about earlier. This one, Harry Hernandez is going to pick up the mount today, and I think that's going to help this one move forward. She does. This is what I mentioned about her before when we talked about her. She's done something that no one else in the field has done, is that she's actually crossed the wire first. But she was disqualified from first 3 starts back in April when going a mile on the grass. She has not raced at this, rough mile distance on the turf since that day. I think returning to that can be the difference maker.
Yeah, and we got the super high 5 in this race, and we got 11 runners in the field now, and it is not an easy task. I scratch into the 3, Starship Salsa, drop it to this $12,500 level. First start since finishing third, beaten only 1 1/4 lengths against $20,000 maidens going on the turf here. But here's the thing. It was last July. The daughter of Concerto may have signaled her intention. She's working pretty well. She's got a bullet 5 furlong work on May 23rd. But still, she's coming off that extended layoff. So Starship Salsa wasn't on top of my ticket. I scratched into her. If I were you, I'd watch her how she's warming up, see if she looks to the part, and maybe you better. The workout pattern says she's ready.
Has the form, has the workout pattern. The last July, that long layoff, that's what concerned me. That's why I had to put her in second. But in a field like this, I could easily see her getting the job done. We also both used the 8, and that is Dauberge.
Yeah, Dauberge is a logical choice in the nightcap, I thought, after responding last time to a drop of competition, would have proved the 3rd place finish at this level and distance. Trainer is Rory Miller, and he reunites this sophomore with apprentice Brandon Boulanger in here. So the other horse, Katie, that I added in here was my long shot of the day, and that is the 10, Ready to Do This. Didn't run badly when making the middle move and finishing 5th last time out. When dropped to this level and distance, Pete Waslick Jr., Luca Panici, that's why I went there. Atop this long shot special, looks better now with the scratch of the favorite in there. I think this horse didn't run as bad as it may look on paper last time out, and because of the wide open, feeling of this race, I threw the number 10, Ready to Do This on the ticket.
And what a fantastic value, 15 to 1 on the morning line, the 10, Ready to Do This. I'm going to be ready to place a bet.
Yeah, me too. If it's 15 to 1, I'm all in. Well, that's how we see the card today, right? So we have 8 races today. Tomorrow we have a 9-race card, but today's going to be a lot of fun with that carryover in the Rainbow Six of over $62,000.
Plus, we've got a great carryover in the Super High 5 with this race. That is going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to go a little deep in here, but that's what makes racing at Gulfstream Park so fun. Katie, that's it, right, for us?
That's it.